Hey, what's going on guys, it's Ben from Parker Baits and welcome back to another fishing video. Now I'm keeping my voice down because there's fish really close in. You join me this week, I'm at Menards. I'm here on, this is going to be a very quick video, I'm here for 24 hours. I've come in this morning and quickly popped in, see my mate Paul, and actually forgot some OG fish, the sauce, so I needed to go in, grab some of that, bought some off him. But yeah mate, I'm absolutely buzzing. I've turned up and there's fish all over this end, and it's quite exciting because I've seen definitely a 30-pound ghostie. A fish has just bossed right over to the left, over to me there now. I'm going to bring you on my journey and hopefully I can pick up a Nosser pig. There's some absolute bangers in here, and I mean some absolute bangers in here, and particularly some very nice commons, and I wouldn't mind a couple of them in here. For further details guys, or you want to book onto this particular venue, make sure you head over to their Facebook or give them a call directly, and you'll find that on their Facebook or on Google, their number. So I'm going to leave it at that guys. If you haven't seen me before, my name's Ben and welcome to the Parker Baits YouTube channel. This is where the magic happens, the realist YouTube fishing channel on YouTube, I say, and I know a lot of people watching will say exactly the same. No privileges, no pre-baited swims. I turn up like everybody watching this and I've got to make it happen. Sometimes I book pegs, sometimes I don't book pegs. If I've booked a peg, I've got to stay in that peg even if the fish ain't in front of me. Again, like I'm sure people will relate, that people are watching this right now. So I've got to try and do what I've got to do. I'm in these particular pegs. There was 2 pegs free. I had the flexibility to go in both, but I've also, with these ones, I can actually ping a rod to my left because there's nobody in this particular water, and I'm actually in peg 7 this session. So there it is guys, that's me, that's who I am. I'm here for the next 24 hours, like I said, a very quick one, and hopefully I can bring you an absolute banger. Right, just before we get into this video guys, I just wanted to touch on our Facebook community page. Now we've just set this up and I'm absolutely blown away. Believe it or not, on our first day we got in excess of 600 people join the page, and we also had 100 plus comments, pictures on there. This is a great opportunity for people to put their pictures up, join the Parker Baits wave, communicate with other anglers using the bait, tips and tricks. And not only that, if someone's fishing that lake, maybe they can give an insight on what they've been using, how they've approached it. People can liaise, and it's just a match made in heaven. So if you haven't already, check out our Facebook community page, descriptions in the bottom of this video. Go and give it a like. So let's kick it off with exactly what I'm doing, starting off with the right hand rod. So when I got up here to get some cinematic shots, to basically give you guys a better view of the lake, how it looks, what to expect when you turn up at Menards. As I've done that, I've looked to my right, and right against the bank on my right hand side there was 3 fish, and they were clearly bigger than everything else around the area. So with that, I'm like, right, okay, I'm going to definitely put a rod on there. There's like a cove, and they were sort of sat in this cove, and then there's like a little green bush. There was one sat on the end of it, or milling around the end of it. It kept moving, and then was one just round the corner from that where you couldn't sort of get with a pole. So what I did is I took the Parker baiter out, put enough bait in, put loads of sauce on there. I'm actually fishing, I put an OG fish wafter on that one, very confident, and we've had a fresh batch and they're absolutely beautiful. These OG fish wafters, they're called Dumpy Dumbbells, and they're from the Parker Baits store, and honestly they're devastating, absolutely devastating. Head over, check them out and let me know what you think. Anyway, I've got the Parker bait, I've dropped it and I've dumped it. As I've dumped it, all 3 fish have spooked and went, the water went, and then they've sort of won out. Right, okay, brilliant. But I am going to leave that rod. So with that, I've sat there, watched and watched and watched. I've seen that ghostie milling around. I've seen another couple of good uns milling around as well. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do the middle rod. I'm going to put it up against the iron. I'm actually going to go round and I'm going to flick some bait out. Now, when I initially got here, I didn't bother, and I thought I'd use a catapult. Catapult wasn't reaching, just wasn't doing what I do. I need to get a new catapult, to be honest with you. Goes round the scoop, threw some bits in, come back round, sat there for 5 minutes, saw about 8 fish. Right on top, basically saying, you idiot. Saw me, put bait in, scared them, spooked them, and all the fish pulled off the spot and then went that way. Gutted, but I did want to get some kind of form of bait out. These are 18 mils, OG fruit and nut, and I've laced them, absolutely laced them in the fruit and nut sauce. So like I say, I went round the scoop and just sort of put them across that little bit. Is what it is. Like I said, I'm here for 24 hours. Not ideal. If I had a bait boat, probably would have dropped it, probably would have been more stealthier, but I ain't got my boat with me now. Sammy, my mate, who actually gave me a boat. This was a spare in the moment one. I needed to come down and see Paul for various reasons. and it was sort of like, messaged him last night, you got any availability? He was like, yeah mate, come down. I'm like, right. It was all rush this morning. Got up at 6, couldn't really sleep because I was excited. I was fishing for everything in the car, and it was like, oh no, I could have bought that boat. So I'm a little bit gutted about that, if I'm honest. So anyway, first chuck though, found clip. Well, I had the clip. It's actually 8.2, so just over 8 wraps it is. Boom, clip. Put my tip forward, and actually it goes underneath that bush. It goes in lovely. Crack. Fill the lead down, and I've also put back leads on both of them, right and middle rod. Now finishing it off with that left down rod. Obviously I keep saying to you, I keep seeing these fish bosh over to my left. Jesus Christ, they are flopping out over there. It's ridiculous. It was imperative that I'd done something about that, but prior to this I found a glowing spot just off to my baited, so in my swim just over, if you look to the left, that will be my middle rod tonight. And what I've done is I've taken three full Parker baiters out with Himalayan rock salt in. It's got here Himalayan rock salt, it's got the magic dust in it, and it's got 18mm OG fish and some chops, and I've like mulched it all up, and I've dumped, I mean, 3 full scoops over there. There must be like 4 or 5 kilo on a spot, and it's even made an orange bottom, ready bottom, where you can sort of see where that is. Not put a rod on that, but my intentions are when it gets dark tonight, when the fish start getting a bit brave, they're going to come in and scout all this out and maybe attack that spot. So I will move a rod from that area that I've punched over there on my left. And on that note, you're probably thinking, what have I put on that left down rod? Again, I've went in an OG fish wafter, little boom, generic boom section, quite a bigger D, so it gives the mechanics of the rigs work better and it gives you more movement. And that's what I've done with the left one. If you want to learn more about that one, our last vlog I actually sit there and I talk about it in a great more depth, but I don't want to bore you guys because there's a lot of people that tune in every week and I don't want to be repeating myself every week showing you the same rigs. So that's what I've done on left down rod. All the only other thing I've done, me and Garrett are playing around with something as well, there's a new stick mix, and I've put some mini mix in there and a few other little goodies, and I've literally just hooked that on the hook. It's a size 4, this hook, quite a big hook, but then I feel the mechanics again with the dumpy dumbbell, it works better on a size 4 than, in my eyes, than it does any other. So I've then put that over there and I keep seeing it. It was like there's a tree behind me, so I had to sort of like bang, like put it down, and I've like put my rod forward and I've like put my hand on the spool, slowed it down, hit water, donk, got a crack, like yeah, lovely. Put my tip down, tightened up the line, back lead on that as well, keeping everything uniform, you know, being really stealthy. So there it is, that's my 3 rods, that's where I'm at. I want to sort of, you know, like I said, take you on my journey, show you what I'm doing, as opposed to just, here I am, this is a YouTube channel, I'm just, you know, throwing my rods out and showing you fish. I want to bring you more than that. So like I said, on this session I'm going to touch on, I'm sure, various other bits and bobs, make some laughs as well. I've got some foodie bits later, although these foodie bits ain't great because I've already forgot my food. I've got some pot noodles, but they're funny flavours, so yeah, it's going to be exciting. Like I said, I feel home from home here. The customer service is brilliant. Martin the bailiff, he's a legend. He's absolutely brilliant. Come straight up to me. I had a lovely chat this morning. I sort of talked to him about Euro Aqua. Plug. If you haven't seen the Euro Aqua video, guys, go check it out. But yeah, I had a good chat with Martin, lovely bloke and very knowledgeable as well. You know, you can't beat that knowledge from bailiffs that are here 24/7. Speak to them, talk to them, pick their brains, you know, and he's very, not only knowledgeable, he'll tell you as well. He wants you to catch. Speak to Martin, speak to Paul when you turn up at the fishery, and they will give you the best advice they can. And also probably tell you where the fish have been coming out. I know their social media is very proactive, but maybe where fish have been maybe being seen, but that's not something they're going to post online. So they might be saying, you know, and Martin said that I've seen him in Peg 8, and he was right, they're there. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I'm going to touch base with you in a bit, but for now I'm going to lock on, sit back, enjoy this lovely plasma screen, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, so a little bit to update really. It's now coming up to 3 o'clock. And there's a few fish milling around, but there's more fish milling around. There's a nice one over to my left, right on the scum, in Peg 8, but can't get there where I am in this peg, in Peg 7. Obviously I've got the option to move, but there's only 2 fish there, not enough to sort of make me go, you know what, I have to move. There's the odd bit of fizzing, the odd fish is dropping down from what I can see. I've literally just been standing there, locked onto the water, doing everything I can to see what they're doing. They seem to have a bit of a cycle, they sort of keep coming in, doing a loop, going back round. Haven't seen the ghosty. yeah, I haven't seen that, which I'm a little bit gutted about, to be honest. Obviously I saw it earlier and it was with a few more, but it's not here now. It's definitely not here now, so is what it is. But I'm hoping tonight the fish will get back up here. From what I know about the lake, I've always had early morning bites and late in the middle of the night as well. Funny enough, when I had the golden nugget, I think it was called, I think it was just under £40. I was in peg 6. I was sort of fishing that open body of water, and I also picked up another one. I think it was a low 20, and I picked that up from this peg's water because there was no gentleman in the peg at the time, and I managed to nick one. So yeah, I just wanted to keep in the loop every step of the way. It is beautiful here. The sun's shining. It's like these loads of little, I don't know, you blow the and all the little bits come off of it. There's absolutely tens of thousands of them. Even when I had the drone up earlier, you could sort of see them coming through the air, which was quite cool. But yeah, there's a few geese. The ducks ain't really giving me any hassle, touch wood at the moment. But yeah, I'm sort of set up now. You know what, I think I'm going to do a night underneath the stars tonight. I'm going to just sleep on my bed chair and throw my bed chair and run down and hopefully hook into an absolute nosser pig. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Probably touch basically in a couple of hours now, unless something occurs and I've got to show you. But yeah, exciting times. Come on the carp and come on the Parker baits. Just keeping in the loop. Middle spot where I haven't got the rod, where I mentioned earlier, I've just went out again. I've added the flat spot in, loads of the flat spot, probably nearly a bottle of it, to be honest with you. I've put probably 3/4 of a bottle of the OG fish sauce in it, and obviously there's a massive, it's got to be over 30% salt, or maybe 30% salt within the mix of our pure pink, dark pink Himalayan rock salt, and it's in its finest form. There's various different grades of rock salt, but I want to be able to penetrate it and basically be active in the water as quick as humanly possible. Bigger the chunk, obviously the longer it's going to break down. It is obviously going to break down and give off them minerals that the carp are looking for, but I do like using that fine stuff for a quick bite. I'm only here for 24 hours and I want to do everything I can in my power to maximise getting a bite quickly as opposed to establishing, etc. So again, take the pole out. I think that's 4 scoops now over there. There's got to be one of them scoops. Must be, it can hold over 1 kilo, I reckon. I filled it in, mate. Like, not brimmed it, but sort of just down from top of the scoop. And that's what I've done. So probably just done the kilos, maybe 5 kilo over that spot now. But I know them fish have been milling around. It only takes 3 of them 30-pounders or 3 of them good fish to come over a spot, start munching, and a few others join in, and then you find that the spot that you've put a bit of bait on goes very quickly. So yeah, a little bit of a food for thought there. But yeah, I just want to keep in the loop, like I said, every step of the way while I'm doing it. Have seen fish as well, sort of milling around the spot, not feeding on it, but they know it's there because I've seen a fish come over right over the top of it and then pull over and go left. I've also seen 2 or 3 fish just keep tight to the island and go round. Well, that tight to the island's about a rod away from that spot. So again, this evening, when everything's calmed down a bit and the fish come out for a proper feed, and hopefully get their heads down, hopefully it's game over. So I'm still not going to put a rod on that spot. I'm going to hold off and I'm going to do it later, and I'll keep you in the loop when I do that. Well, it's dinner time and I have got something special for you. Well, I haven't really, but doner kebab, see that? Doner kebab, pot noodle, never tried one of these before. So my dinner consists of the foodie bits on the Parker Baits YouTube channel this evening, this week. It's Garibaldi's and pot noodle. All the rubbish I've been eating over the duration in the last few months probably do me good not to eat a seafood pizza, whatever it may be, that I've been ordering on the bank recently. So yeah, I'm gonna doner kebab, pot noodle. Obviously I'm not going to record that, guys, but what I will do is when I touch base with you later on, I'll let you know what it tasted like or what it was like. Reach up the left hand rod, didn't record that, very similar location to where it was before. And it's now 5 o'clock, just gone 5. hence dinner now. I want to try and get in a little bit earlier. I don't want to be eating late. Also, I'm starving again because I didn't bring food. I'm going to leave it a couple of hours or an hour or so, eat this, and then I'm going to redo them 2 rods. I'll then do the middle spot that I mentioned earlier on that baited area. A rod will go on that. That's had all day, that's been left alone. Not that fish have been feeding on it because it's in clear water and you can see it in front of you, but it has been left alone. There's been no line pressure, nothing going across. It's directly in front of me, small lake. I'm just trying to think of absolutely everything. Like I mentioned earlier, and then the right hand rod, I'm going to pull it from the margin and I'm going to put it where my middle rod is at the moment, so over there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to enjoy this now. A lot's happened in the last few minutes. I just dipped my finger, I like hot food, I've just dipped my finger in that sauce that you get with it, this bad boy. I mean, it took my head off. That is hot. Coughing the whole way across the lake. My mate Connor, so when I was at Linear Fisheries with Luke a couple of weeks back, he gave us one of these. It's a bit smashed to bits now, but it's a porridge, and it's a chocolate porridge, and that's going to go down the treat after this. So I'm going to eat my pot noodle, have that for pudding, as opposed to a Garibaldi, because I've had a few of them today. And I can now sit back, the kettle's boiled now, so definitely time for dinner. The dinner of kings. Right, well, that is the middle rod out. I used the Parker baiter, took it out with that and dropped it. I didn't put nowhere near as much baiting as earlier, just a little bit. So I put a little bit around my hook bait, and I switched from, I had a fruited nut bottom on that, but what I've done is now I've basically put an OG fish wafter back on as well, because I know I've got that same mix, that OG fish mix on that spot, which is what I've been dropping all day. So middle rod on that, left hand one over on the original spot where I mentioned earlier, and then the right hand rod, here's a story for you. So walks up the bank, and there's a little bit where people have been definitely been down, they've like parted it, and there's a little bit, so I've walked down this bit and I'm going through, getting brambles, getting cut to bits. Looks in and I can see there's like a bit that comes in, and at the end, that right hand rod where I mentioned earlier, I've dropped, I haven't touched that rod since I've been here. Now that right hand rod in the bush, so I'm fishing just on the end of it, literally just on the end of it, in the bush, looks down, sees a carp, 20 pounder, I think it was a common, just sitting there on top. Anyway, further watching it, couldn't take my eyes off the thing. It's turned up really slowly, so the spot's here at this point. It's sort of come around the back of the bush like this, and it's come around the back of the bush, it's turned and it's went straight towards the spot, and then I've seen it drop down. At that point I went it is just there, so I've literally just come in and come back, and then I've run down the bottom, like right, looking over, seeing if I can see vortexes or anything. So now seeing that, I'm definitely going to keep that rod to the right hand side. It gave me goosebumps, I tell you, when I was there watching it. It was just like, come on, drop down, and then it turned as if it like straight down. I knew it was there, I know exactly where the spot was. But yeah, it hasn't turned into anything, so I'm going to leave it at that. Like I said, rod's out now, I'm not going to touch him now till the morning. I'm feeling quite confident tonight. I don't know, there's something in the air. I've seen some fish about, milling around. Obviously seen that ghosty alongside them 2 other big fish. That ghosty was big, and the 2 other fish next to it were commons, and they were big as well. So I bet they were the 2 big commons in here as well, alongside that big ghosty. Casper, I think, goes just over 40, and obviously pre-spawn now with everything going on, it could potentially be a bigger weight. So yeah, I'm going to sit back now, as I always say, watch my plasma screen, and thoroughly enjoy my evening, let the darkness roll in, and fingers crossed I can nick one tonight, if not first thing tomorrow morning, but I do think it's going to happen. So
moment of madness, to be honest with you. Got up first light, obviously went back to bed, woke up again about 8 o'clock. Sat up for a bit, thought, you know what, I'm going to get another bit more sleep. I'm not going to be reeling them rods into 11, and good job I did. Right hand rod, that first rod I put out yesterday, the one I've left, pretty much, well, it's been left since I got here, absolutely melted off. It's on loud as well, so the whole blooming lake note about it. Right, man, I hit into this rod, it's given me a right old scrap. It's nothing massive, but it's a lovely black, typical Menards carp. So yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm probably not even going to weigh it, but I'm just glad I've had one. That's all I asked for on this trip, and I've got. Yes, yes. Alright, you can see the OG fish wafter right there, and there she is, a big black one. Geared up. Wow, it's happened again up here, and yet to blank up this place. I think this is my 3rd trip now, and I've had fish every time I've come up here. But would you look at that? 17£8, absolutely beautiful. OG fish, doing it again. That was on our dumpy dumbbells, the wafters. I love how they sit on the bottom. That's our new batch as well. But look at it, mate, every single fish. I know this is not the biggest fish in the world, but pretty nevertheless. And just, I love it up here for that reason. Every single fish has got his own little character to it, if you like. And it's just a beautiful place to be. I sat here last night on my own, out in the stars. Life really couldn't get much better, if I'm honest. So I'm going to quickly show you the other side. But thank you very much, Mr. Mirror. Bosh, there it is. There's the other side. Happy with that. The camera really ain't doing it justice because it's quite dark on top here, but the camera's lighting it up just ever so slightly. Perfect tail, perfect everything. Thank you very much, Menards. Yes. Right, a little bit of a change of scenery. The reason for that is they had a little bit of a drizzle then. I got a bit worried, so I quickly grabbed my bed chair and pulled it over underneath the tree above me, just to give me a little bit of a stop now. I can actually see my rods a little bit better as well, so it's all good. But yeah, absolutely buzzing with that. I really, I was thinking, oh no, don't blank, as you'll do, sort of ticking off them last few hours. And that rod, that right hand rod, just one toner, no single beep, just single one toner. Yeah, exciting. Ran down to my rod, I was shaking the whole way through the fight, and like I said, managed to get it in. So really happy with that. But I'm going to give it obviously a good few more hours. Probably can stay out to about maybe 3ish, something like that. So I was permitting the weather's alright, and the camera battery lasts as well. So yeah, wanted to keep in the loop. I'm going to have some Garibaldi's for breakfast. You can hear the geese in the background going absolutely mental. Rods are back out as well. I didn't mention that. Whilst the fish was resting, just for a couple of minutes, right hand rod straight back out, bonk. But I didn't drop it on the same spot, and the reason for that is obviously that fish has just absolutely annihilated that spot, so I've opted to go a little bit further up the bank. Another bush that sort of sits out, I've dropped it in front of that. I've reeled the left hand rod off the baited area. I can still see the bait on the area. It doesn't look like it's been touched. I've bailed that rod, and I've now put the pole out again, and I've touched it sort of probably another 2 rod lengths in behind of the other spots. I've got a rod here, right on that margin. And wouldn't it be nice to nick another one before I leave, or even a 30-pounder would be happy. And I know they were there yesterday because I saw them, and it was about 12 o'clock. There was about 3 of them sat there. So I'm going to keep that in my mind. I'm going to keep positive, and hopefully that sun breaks through and we'll have a lovely day like yesterday. Well, I'm a little bit gutted because I've just checked the weather forecast and it's changed and it's starting to rain, and I think it's going to come down heavy, so I'm going to have to cut this one short. So it's probably going to be just under 24 hours this session. But one thing I would say, or I haven't said already, everything that I've caught the fish on is available here at the tackle shop. Whether that be the sauce, the flat spot, the boilies, they've got all of our range in the shop, and also the magic dust as well, which is what I've been applying since I've been here. Not only that, they've got Corda stuff in there. Paul's got pretty much everything in there. If you run out of gas, he's got backup gas, hooks, he's got the Kamakura, he's got the new goo in there. He's got literally absolutely everything. He sells cradles, bed chairs, literally everything. So again, when you do come here, it's definitely worth having a look in the shop and getting some bargains, because he's also got some deals on there as well. There's a various couple of bait companies that are in the shop, but our Parker Baits deal, if you ask Paul, we'll show you what deals are on offer on the day. He's got it on a little white piece of paper and he'll show you that, what he's doing when you're down. So I'm going to do the slow pack down now. I'm absolutely gutted, I really am, because you know why I'm even more gutted? Because I just had a little one at the bank. I saw one fish go over the other spot, didn't drop down, which was the original spot where I pulled the rod off, and then obviously I've got the two at the end. So I've walked up there and I've seen this absolute tank of a common come in, stop, and then go sort of head towards where that end spot is, my middle rod, where that is now. So I'm going to leave the rods to the last minute though. Like I said, I'm going to pack the bed chair down. It is what it is, I guess it is what it is. I'm not getting soaked, and I've got some bits to do this afternoon, and a busy weekend at that as well, and then another busy week at the factory going in to next week. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll touch base because I can already see stuff starting to get wet. Well, we're getting there now. Literally put everything on that. That's another good tip as well when you're fishing. Really do leave it to the last minute before you get your rods in. I'm still safe, I've still got my net set up and everything down there. Obviously my sling's still there, so if anything was to happen I could get the mat back out before I even take the fish out of the water and know it's 100%. But yeah, look at it, it's a beautiful place. You've got loads of... Another thing I would say is them fish have been up to the front of that sleeper there. It's not a sleeper, but that bit of wood there, they've been a foot off that, so I would advise. And also, I know Paul will say the same, and Martin said the same to me last time, get up the top, be as quiet as you can, bring your rods back in, just have your tips out, make as much, not as much noise, make as little noise as humanly possible, and I think that will help massively. I'm not really seeing much close in. There's a couple of like polished off bits just down here, and we sort of see it sort of coming through. This is where they were coming up, I saw them down here. That ghosty, I looked in its eyes right there, literally here. And they've obviously been sitting on that first pitch where I had the fish. That's where I saw that common earlier, big old common. I mean, last time I was up here, they're all in there. They love this bit, they really do. That's a good peg as well. There's loads, plenty of room. That's a good peg. You've got all this sort of bay to yourself, which is nice. It's peg 8. So yeah, hopefully I've given you a bit more of an insight on Menards again. I'm going to leave it a little bit longer. I'm going to make a move. Right guys, that is it. I've now finished. I'm all packed up and a little bit gutted. I couldn't leave the rods out a little bit longer. It's not rained yet, but I'm not taking a risk, and like I said, I have got a few bits to sort out at home. So there it is, another Parker Baits video. If you weren't aware, we upload every Sunday 7:30, and we also start to upload every Wednesday 7:30 as well, guys. So join the wave, and there is hours and hours and hours of content at our channel. Just type in Parker Baits in YouTube, it will come straight up, and there's literally, you can binge watch for hours. Our target, if you like, is to try and hit all the day tickets up and down the country, as many as we can. So people, if they turn up at that date, they can type it in, click on it, get a bit of an insight, see what it's about, and obviously turn up and not turn up so grey. And that's exactly what these videos are about. That's it, I've just checked it over, all nice and clean for the next person. Up here, nice and clean as well. Lovely, time to go. So there it is, guys. I hope you like this one. I've certainly enjoyed being back at Menards, and for further details on that, make sure you check out their Facebook page. Obviously they've got a website and also a contact number as well. I'll put that at the top of the screen now. Check it out, and I'm going to leave it at that. I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Peace out.